The morning sun barely touched the edges of the space station, yet inside the repair bay, life hummed quietly. Eli Parker was already awake, standing beside the alien ship. The silver-furred wolf sat just outside the compartment, its glowing eyes following him with a mix of curiosity and caution. The creature's presence was both unsettling and fascinating. Eli had seen alien life forms before, but nothing as intelligent or as silent as this wolf. He rubbed his hands together and approached slowly, speaking softly. "Good morning. Did you sleep well?" he asked. The wolf cocked its head, tilting it slightly, as though considering the question. It made no sound, but Eli could sense recognition. He realized that words might not matter here. Actions, patience, and calm presence were what counted. Eli moved toward the ship's engines, tools in hand. He began inspecting the alien systems again, double-checking his work from the night before. Every now and then, he would glance at the wolf. Its eyes reflected the soft hum of the ship, tracking every motion with sharp precision. The wolf circled the bay carefully, sniffing the air. Then returning to observe Eli, it was like a silent guardianor, a judge deciding if he was worthy of trust. Eli whistled softly, a human habit he had picked up over years of working alone. The wolf froze, then tilted its ears. It was cautious but not hostile. Eli smiled. "See? Nothing to worry about. I just want to help." Despite his calm words, questions crowded his mind. Who was this wolf? Where had it come from? How had it survived trapped inside the ship for so long? And most importantly, why was it here, alone, in the middle of the Outer Rim? Eli did not have answers, but he had a plan. Observe, understand, and gain trust. Humans had always relied on understanding through observation, and that was exactly what he would do. The alien wolf finally stepped closer to the ship. Its movements were careful, almost cautious, but there was curiosity in its glowing eyes. It sniffed the outer hull, then tapped lightly on a panel with its paw. Eli froze, realizing it was trying to communicate or at least guide him. He lowered his tools and crouched slightly, letting the wolf take the lead. "It's all right," he said gently. "Show me what you want me to see." The wolf padded to a section of the ship where the metal was scratched and uneven. It tapped again, then stared at Eli expectantly. He examined the panel and saw damaged circuits beneath. The wolf's instincts had led him to a problem he had overlooked. Eli grinned. "Well, You actually helped me find it. Smart." Working together became a silent ritual. The wolf guided him to hidden faults, its movements precise and deliberate. Eli repaired each problem carefully, explaining every step to the creature. "I know you don't speak human, but I want you to understand I mean no harm," he said. "We're on the same side here." For hours, they worked quietly. The bay was filled with the sound of tools, humming machinery, and the wolf's soft movements. Occasionally, the wolf would sit and watch Eli's hands move, tilting its head as if trying to understand the human's strange methods. Eli chuckled quietly. "You'll learn eventually. Humans have a way of fixing things that's different." As the day went on, Eli realized something remarkable. The wolf was not just intelligent, it was learning from him. It studied his hands, the tools he used, the way he connected circuits and repaired systems. When Eli paused, the wolf would tap gently on components, almost as if testing whether he wanted help. It was not mere instinct, it was understanding. The more time they spent together, the more Eli began to see patterns. The wolf's movements were not random. It had strategies, preferences, and awareness of its surroundings. Eli felt a deep respect for the creature. Humans had always believed they were clever, but here was an alien life form that rivaled human thought in subtle ways. He whispered to himself, "You're amazing. I never thought I'd meet something like you." Even as he marveled, Eli knew the wolf had weaknesses. Its leg seemed slightly stiff, a remnant of the injury that had trapped it in the abandoned ship. Eli examined it carefully when the wolf allowed, finding old wounds and traces of infection. "We'll fix this too," he said softly. He applied a soothing salve he had on hand, and the wolf stayed still, letting him work. This trust, even in such a small way, was a breakthrough. By evening, the bond between human and wolf had grown stronger. The wolf no longer stayed hidden in the shadows. It followed Eli as he moved, observing everything, learning, and cautiously interacting. Eli could feel a connection forming, unspoken but real. They were becoming partners, not just mechanic and machine. But companion and guardian Eli took a step back and admired their work. The alien ship systems were almost fully restored, humming in perfect synchronization. He realized that the wolf had saved him as much as he had saved it. If it had not guided him to hidden faults, the ship might never have been repaired properly. The human ingenuity and the alien instinct had worked together seamlessly. "Looks like we make a good team," Eli said, smiling at the wolf. The wolf tilted its head, a gesture that felt like acknowledgement. It stepped closer, brushing lightly against his leg, and Eli felt a warmth he had not expected. It was not just gratitude, it was trust. It's a rare and precious thing in the galaxy. Suddenly a loud clang echoed through the station. Eli froze. The wolf's ears perked instantly, body tensed, and it crouched slightly. Someone or something was approaching. Eli moved in front of the wolf, placing himself as a shield. "Stay calm," he whispered. The wolf's glowing eyes met his, understanding and waiting for direction. Two other mechanics entered the bay, curious about the glowing lights and soft hum. "What are you doing, Parker?" One asked. "That ship's been abandoned for years. You shouldn't be messing with it." Eli shook his head. "I'm not just fixing a ship," he said calmly. "There's more here than anyone realizes." He glanced at the wolf. The creature had stepped fully into the open, standing tall, eyes glowing softly. The mechanics froze. This was not a wild animal. They could feel its intelligence, its awareness. You're hiding something," one mechanic said nervously. "What is that?" Eli smiled faintly. "Something that needed help. Something I couldn't ignore." The wolf growled softly, low and cautious. It was not a threat, but a warning. The mechanic stepped back. Eli realized then that this wolf was not only alive, but protective of itself, of the ship, and perhaps of him as well. That night, the station was quieter than usual. Eli sat near the ship, sketching diagrams of its systems and noting repairs. The wolf lay nearby, ears twitching occasionally, eyes reflecting the soft glow of the lights. Eli studied it closely. Its fur shimmered in the dim light, and he noticed patterns in the silver strands, almost like markings that might have meaning to its species. He whispered, "I don't know your name, or if you even have one, but I'll keep you safe. I promise." The wolf lifted its head, eyes meeting his. For a long moment, nothing else existed. No machines, no station, no other people. Just human and alien, together in a silent understanding. Eli had never experienced this before. He realized that saving the wolf and repairing the ship had created something more profound, a bond between species. Hours later, when Eli finally slept, the wolf stayed awake. It watched over him, body coiled like a silent protector. It had been saved, yes, but now it had a purpose: to protect the human who had unknowingly saved it in return. In the quiet hum of the ship, the two shared a connection that neither fully understood. Somewhere deep inside the station, systems buzzed softly, lights blinked rhythmically, and the repaired ship waited for the moment it would leave the scrapyard. The alien wolf, its strength slowly returning, padded silently across the bay, checking the systems with keen eyes. And Eli, the human mechanic who had unknowingly rescued it, dreamed of stars, of adventures, and of the strange bond forming between two very different beings. The galaxy beyond the station remained unaware. A single human, his hands smeared with grease, and a wolf-like alien, intelligent and wary, had just taken the first steps toward a story that would echo far beyond the outer rim. They did not know it yet, but together they had become something remarkable. For Eli, the lesson was simple: curiosity, kindness, and courage could reach across species, across worlds, and even across the void of space. And as the first light of dawn touched the bay, he knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning. The stars stretched endlessly ahead of Eli Parker as the alien ship glided silently through the outer rim. The repair bay of the station was now a distant memory. For a moment, Eli allowed himself to enjoy the thrill, the soft hum of the engines, the way the ship responded to his touch, and the presence of the silver-furred wolf beside him. He could feel its strength and awareness, a silent reassurance that they were no longer alone. But peace in the galaxy was always fragile. Eli sensed it before he even saw it, the faint echo of sensors picking up movement in nearby space. Something was following them. He leaned over the console, adjusting readings and scanning for the source. "They're tracking us," he said quietly to the wolf. The creature's ears twitched. It rose to its full height, tail flicking, eyes glowing faintly. Eli understood the silent communication. It recognized danger. Together, they had to be ready. Moments later, 3 small but heavily armed alien ships appeared on the sensors. They moved with precision, chasing the wolf ship as though it were prey. Eli's heart pounded. "Hunters," he muttered. "They want you. I can feel it." The wolf growled softly, low and cautious. It circled the control panels, paws tapping in rhythm with Eli's hands, as if guiding him to the ship's hidden systems. Eli understood. "All right, let's show them what humans can do," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. He activated the engines fully. The ship responded instantly, its hum rising in pitch, almost like a living being preparing to defend itself. Eli felt a thrill of pride. His repairs were not just functional, they had made this alien. Technology compatible with human ingenuity, the hunters opened fire, beams of energy streaking across the void. Eli dodged skillfully, using the ship's advanced maneuvering systems and his own instincts. The wolf leaned forward, paws tapping rapidly on the controls, guiding him to make sharp turns and evasive moves. Together, human and alien moved as one, a team no hunter could predict. Despite their skill, the hunters were relentless. They matched every maneuver, closing the distance with frightening speed. Eli realized that their survival depended on both his quick thinking and the wolf's instincts. He activated auxiliary thrusters, creating sudden bursts that threw the pursuing ships off balance. The wolf barked softly, an unfamiliar sound, but one filled with energy and direction. It guided Eli to a nearby asteroid field, dense and dangerous, where human ingenuity and alien instinct could turn the tide. "Hang on," Eli shouted, weaving through massive rocks. The hunters followed, but their precision faltered. The wolf's knowledge of instincts and terrain allowed them to navigate paths no human or hunter would anticipate. Eli could feel the bond between them strengthening with every maneuver. Hours passed as they weaved through the asteroid field. Energy blasts streaking past, rocks spinning dangerously close. Eli's hands moved with practiced speed, recalibrating shields and rerouting power to the engines. The wolf stayed close, alert, and responsive, communicating without words. Each gesture, each movement told him what to do next. Finally, Eli found a narrow path between 2 massive asteroids, a gap too small for the hunter's ships. He nudged the controls, and the alien ship slipped through. The pursuing ships skidded, some crashing into rocks, others forced to retreat. Eli exhaled deeply. The wolf's chest heaved as well, and it brushed lightly against his arm, a silent gesture of acknowledgement. They had survived together. Once they were safe, Eli slowed the ship and floated near a small, uncharted planet. The wolf relaxed slightly, but remained alert, scanning the surroundings. Eli leaned back in his seat. "We need to rest," he said softly. "You've been through a lot, and so have I." The wolf's eyes met his, glowing faintly in agreement. While they rested, Eli examined the ship's systems. Despite his earlier repairs, he realized that the recent chase had stressed the engines and shields. The wolf circled him, watching intently, tapping on consoles to indicate areas needing attention. Eli smiled. "You've learned fast. I think you're ready for anything," he said. Together, they repaired and reinforced the ship. combining human logic and alien instinct in ways that neither species could achieve alone. That night, as they orbited the small planet, Eli thought about the wolf's story. He had learned that it was one of the last of its kind, intelligent, strong, and adaptive. The hunters had been after it because of its rarity. If they had succeeded, this species might have disappeared forever. Eli realized the magnitude of what he had done. He hadn't just fixed a ship. He had saved a life, maybe an entire lineage. The wolf approached him quietly and nuzzled his shoulder lightly. Eli laughed softly, feeling a warmth in his chest. "I didn't do it alone," he said. "We did it together." The wolf blinked slowly, a gesture Eli interpreted as agreement. For the first time, he felt a true connection to an alien species. A bond formed through trust, cooperation, and courage. But Eli also knew their journey was far from over. The galaxy was dangerous, full of hunters, traders, and species who would exploit intelligent life for their gain. They needed a plan, a destination, and allies they could trust. Eli reviewed the holographic map of the wolf's home system, noting planets that might offer shelter. The wolf tapped on a few locations, indicating familiarity or safety. Eli smiled. "I think I understand," he said. "We'll start there." The next day, Eli and the wolf prepared for departure. The ship's engines were at peak performance, shields reinforced, and weapons calibrated for defense. Eli studied the sensors carefully, ensuring no hunters were nearby. The wolf paced, restless but ready, its glowing eyes scanning the stars. Eli felt a surge of pride. They were not just human and alien. They were a team capable of survival against odds that might have killed any other crew as they left the planet's orbit. A warning flashed on the sensors. Another hunter ship had appeared, faster and more aggressive than before. Eli's heart raced. "They didn't give up," he muttered. The wolf growled softly, ready for action. Eli adjusted the controls, weaving through the debris of a nearby asteroid belt. The hunter followed, weapons charging. Eli had an idea. He activated a series of thrusters in a rapid sequence, creating bursts of light and smoke that disoriented the hunter's targeting system. The wolf guided him through a narrow path between massive asteroids, and for the first time, Eli realized how perfectly the wolf's instincts complemented his human ingenuity. Together, they outmaneuvered the hunter, forcing it to retreat. After the danger passed, Eli took a moment to breathe. "We're learning from each other," he said. "I think we make a pretty good team." The wolf tilted its head, a silent affirmation, then padded to the controls, tapping a panel to indicate a new route. Eli understood. The wolf had not only survived, but had become a true partner, capable of guiding, protecting, and cooperating in ways that amazed him. As they traveled further into uncharted space, Eli reflected on everything that had happened. A neglected ship, abandoned for years, had brought him into contact with one of the galaxy's most intelligent and rare creatures. By repairing the ship, he had saved the wolf, and in doing so, discovered a partnership that transcended species. The wolf had taught him about instinct, awareness, and the power of nonverbal communication. He had taught the wolf about trust, patience, and human ingenuity. The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of unknown dangers and possibilities. Eli and the wolf had survived their first test, but they both knew more challenges were coming. Hunters, unknown species, and the vast, unpredictable galaxy awaited them. Yet they were ready. Together, they had proven that human intelligence and alien instinct could overcome any obstacle. That night, as they drifted near a small asteroid cluster for shelter, Eli watched the wolf sleep curled beside him. Its breathing was steady, its body relaxed for the first time since their journey began. Eli felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had repaired a ship, saved a life, and gained a friend unlike any he had ever known. And yet the galaxy was far from safe. Eli knew this was only the beginning. Their partnership would be tested again, and he would need all of his skills, courage, and ingenuity to protect the wolf and their shared future. But for now, in this quiet moment, human and alien rested together. Ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, the stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter, as if acknowledging the bond between human and alien. And somewhere in the distance, beyond the reach of their immediate sensors, other eyes were watching. Eli did not know it yet, but their actions had already drawn attention. Some would bring danger, others opportunity, but all would change the course of their journey. For Eli Parker, human mechanic and the silver-furred wolf, one thing was clear. Together, they could face the galaxy and survive, no matter what awaited them. And the story of their bond, their courage, and their partnership was only beginning. Elias Varn floated in the observation deck of Aegis Prime, watching the stars streak past the colossal ship's massive windows. For the first time since discovering the starship, he felt a sense of calm. Yet he knew that calm would not last. The galaxy had noticed their presence, and soon, the real challenges would begin. The ship's voice pulsed through his mind, steady and full of anticipation. Human, we are ready. My systems are fully operational. My energy cores are at maximum. But you must decide how we act. The galaxy. It watches us. Elias rubbed his chin, his eyes scanning the countless displays of star systems and approaching fleets. We can't hide anymore, he said softly. They will come. And when they do, we have to be ready to protect ourselves and others. Aegis Prime hummed in agreement, its energy flows glowing brighter along the corridors. The ship had become more than a machine. It was alive, aware, and dependent on Elias's decisions. Every system, every weapon, every shield was now synchronized with human ingenuity. The first signs of the galaxy-wide threat appeared almost immediately. Sensors detected a massive fleet moving from the Andromeda Rift, a region known for pirate activity and mercenary fleets. They were unlike any adversary Elias had faced before, heavily armed, organized, and determined. Human. They are approaching. Their firepower exceeds anything we have previously encountered, Aegis Prime warned. Elias took a deep breath. We'll adapt. That's what humans do. We'll use every advantage, every trick, and every bit of creativity we have. First wave of enemy ships entered the asteroid belt where Elias had first discovered Aegis Prime. Using his knowledge of the terrain, he positioned the ship behind massive asteroids, allowing only narrow corridors for the enemy to approach. Good thinking, the ship said. You anticipate patterns. Humans, you are unpredictable. That gives us strength. As the fleet advanced, Elias activated the super weapon systems of Aegis Prime. Energy pulses flowed along the hull. Shields expanded and targeting arrays powered up. This was no longer a defensive operation. It was a demonstration of the ship's full potential. Missiles streaked across space, and Aegis Prime countered them with precision energy shields. Enemy ships fired in coordinated waves, but Elias's strategy, combined with the ship's alien technology, made them ineffective. Human. Your decisions amplify my strength beyond design, the ship said. You think in ways my creators did not anticipate. This is remarkable, Elias smiled. We've come a long way, haven't we? The enemy fleet attempted to flank them, but Elias anticipated this maneuver. Using Aegis Prime's advanced sensors, he guided the ship into a hidden trajectory through the asteroid field. Massive rocks shifted slightly as he calculated precise gravitational adjustments, forcing the enemy ships to break formation. One by one, their lines faltered, and their strategy crumbled. Then, Elias unleashed the ship's superweap. Energy beams surged from hidden arrays, striking enemy ships with surgical precision. Hulls cracked, engines failed, and smaller vessels were disabled instantly. The colossal starship moved with a grace and agility that belied its size. Responding to every human decision with perfect synchronization, we are unstoppable together, Aegis Prime said, almost proudly. Your ingenuity. It is the key to my full power. Elias felt a swell of pride. Humans had always been underestimated. Small, fragile, and seemingly powerless compared to the great civilizations of the galaxy. Yet here he was, guiding a weapon of unimaginable power, surviving and outsmarting fleets that should have destroyed him. But Elias knew that power came with responsibility. Every decision could have consequences, and the galaxy was watching. Civilians, allies, and even neutral civilizations could be affected by the conflict. He had to balance strength with wisdom. "We must be careful," he said aloud. "We have the power to destroy fleets, but we also have the responsibility to protect life." Asterisk, asterisk, the ship responded with agreement. "I trust your judgment, human. You are cautious, yet decisive. This is why I needed you." Hours turned into days as the battle escalated. Elias and EpicSciFy moved from one system to another, intercepting enemy fleets before they could reach inhabited worlds. The ship's energy cores glowed brighter with each engagement, feeding off Elias's tactical decisions and human creativity. One day, as they approached the Vega expanse, Elias detected a massive signal coming from a nearby star system. It was not an enemy fleet this time. It was a civilian colony under attack by mercenary raiders. Small ships were straying dangerously close to inhabited planets. Elias felt a surge of determination. "We won't just fight for ourselves," he said. "We protect them too." "Agreed," the ship replied. "Humans, your sense of morality guides us. This is why you are invaluable." Using the ship's sensors and weapon systems, Elias devised a plan. They would create a defensive perimeter around the colony, drawing the raiders into controlled zones where EpicSciFi's super weapon could disable them without harming civilians. The operation was tense. Missiles streaked through space, energy shields flared, and the raiders attempted evasive maneuvers. Elias's quick thinking and the ship's precision made the difference. One by one, enemy ships were neutralized, forced to retreat, or disabled completely. When the last raider ship fled, Elias allowed himself a moment of relief. The colony was safe, and the civilians had no idea how close they had come to destruction. "Human, your decisions saved them," EpicSciFi said. "You are not just a mechanic. You are a protector, a guide, a leader." Elias smiled, floating near the observation deck. "We're a team," he said. "I make the decisions, but you make them work." Over the next few days, Elias realized something profound. Humanity was not just capable of surviving in the galaxy. They could excel. They could rise above challenges, think creatively, and guide forces far greater than themselves. And in the hands of a human, EpicSciFi was no longer just a weapon, it was a symbol of hope. But Elias also understood that the galaxy would continue to challenge them. Other civilizations would notice the super weapon, and some would see it as a threat. Diplomacy, strategy, and ingenuity would be required as much as firepower. "Human, the galaxy will watch us closely," EpicSciFi said. "Some will seek to control us. Others will fear us. You must guide our actions wisely." Elias nodded. "We'll be careful. But we won't back down. We fight for life, not destruction." As he prepared for the next encounter, Elias reflected on the journey so far. A human mechanic had awakened a sleeping giant, tamed its power, guided it through challenges that no other species could handle. The bond between human and ship had grown stronger than either could have imagined, and though the galaxy was vast and full of unknown dangers, Elias felt confident. Humans were not just survivors, they were innovators, thinkers, and protectors. And together with EpicSciFi, they could face any challenge, defend any system, and rise to any occasion. "We are ready," Elias said softly, watching distant stars. "For whatever comes next, we are ready." "Yes, human," the ship replied, its voice filled with certainty. "Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are hope." In that moment, as the colossal starship pulsed with energy and the galaxy stretched infinitely around them, Elias realized the truth. Humans, small and fragile though they may seem, could rise to greatness. And in partnership with EpicSciFi, he would prove it to the universe. The galaxy had found a new guardian, and humanity had found a legend reborn.